What's up, guys? I think I'm live. If I'm live, hit me up in the chat. Say, Steve, you're live. I'm still working on the lighting. Last 5 minutes kind of really snuck up on me using a little bit of a different setup. So, yeah, it's kind of bright. Let me know what's better. Is it a little better dimmed out like this? Is that bright enough? I'm live. Classic Pack Attack. Thanks, man. Thanks for coming through for me. Look a little pale with all that light. Bright light like a gremlin. All right. Let's see. I don't know if that's my camera acting up or what. I'm using a little different setup. I'm streaming on YouTube tonight instead of StreamYard just to check it out. Don't know if it'll be any better or worse. Still got the Christmas tree up. Who still has their Christmas trees up? Oh, yeah, I just took my hoodie off because it was so hot. And I remember my last live stream, I was wearing a sweater, man, and I was cooking like a pound of bacon. So just had the T-shirt on, man. What's going on, guys? What's up, peeps? Whenever I see your name, peeps, I can't tell that that's your name because it says peeps, and I'm like, peeps. So we got Derek watching corn reviews, Classic Pack Attack. Ed, what's up, peeps? What's going on? CC, how you doing, man? S. Fleming, what's up, guys? So what do you guys want to start off with, man? Because the NBA is absolutely crazy. We could talk about the NBA all night. But there's some football stuff going on. Did everybody have a good holiday? Who still got their Christmas tree up like me? We won't take it down till New Year's just because of superstition. So mine's still up. Got a little bit of more of a wider camera tonight too, so you might see some mangy dogs running around in the background. Actually, there's one laying down right there. That's the old man right there. He's like 14. He won't move that much. Unless he's getting food. What's up, Scott? Joel, what's going on? All right, guys, so you know how this works, man. You guys are going to dictate what we talk about. This is an interaction time. That's what I do. I don't ever have anything planned for my live streams. This is a time that I get to spend with my followers and my supporters so that we can talk about stuff that you guys want to talk about. Because in my videos, I talk about what I want to talk about. And you guys always have a lot of comments and a lot of questions and stuff. So, yeah, my eye's looking funny, but, you know, that guy rejected your offer on the Ja Morant. You'll get one, Joel. In fact, we can start off by talking about Ja Morant if you guys want. Because, honestly, I'm not in on Ja Morant right now. As in, I'm not buying. And I know you guys might be like, you're crazy. Ja's the best up-and-coming player in the league right now, but it's pushing his prices through the roof. Unless you can find a bargain on some lower-end cards, I wouldn't go paying crazy prices for prisms, optics. Maybe if you can get a good price on a select premier level, because I think that's an underrated set. But I'm going to try to talk to the camera, but my eyes keep straying back to the street, to the monitor. But anyway, yeah, that's how I'm feeling it. Ja might even be a sell right now, a hold or a sell. But the price point on him is so high right now that if you're not already in, you're kind of too late. And because he came out on fire with 44 points, I mean, now it's like any bad game is going to be a disappointment. What's up, guys? Coming in hot and fast like a Little Caesars Pizza. No, I'm not sponsored by Little Caesars Pizza. I wish I was, but I'm not. Daniel, Sawyer, what's going on? Caesar, did I miss anybody? LT Smash, my man Smash. Ziggy, what's going on? What's up, everybody? So you guys want to get in some NFL? You want to talk some more NBA stuff? You want to I don't know. You guys got any questions about any players? What are you guys buying, man? Tell me what I should buy. Pump something up to me. Hockey 99 says hockey. Imagine that. The basketball card market is crazy. Let me see. I'm using a different format here. Let me see what I need to do to pin up a let me pin that. My goodness, how do I even bring up a comment on this YouTube stream? Everything's going by so fast, it won't let me. Oh, I just pinned it to the top. I'm trying to figure out how I can actually highlight. I should have just went with StreamYard. I'm trying to figure out how I can actually highlight a comment up here so everybody can read it. I'm a noob at this. Yeah, this YouTube, let's see, pin. Oh, didn't do nothing. Hey, if anybody's got any pointers on how to navigate this YouTube live stream, how do I pin a message on the screen so that everybody can see it? This is making me look like complete noob. And message is going by so fast, I can't get on one. Breeze, Rodgers, Roethlisberger, rookie cards. Since you just got back in, they're all safe. They're all probably future Hall of Famers. They're all going to be in the playoffs. So they're all safe. I always like safe investments. They're Ed. So, Scott, do I not think there's any more room for Ja? There's some room, but, you know, it's a risk-reward factor. If his prisms are $900, where do you see them being by the end of this season? Do you see them sitting at $1,800? I mean, that's where Luka was at. So do you see Ja sitting at that at $1,800? Do you see doubling your money? So for a $900 investment, do you see doubling your money by playoff time? Because if the Grizzlies don't make the playoffs, that card's going to nosedive, and I believe there'll be a better chance to buy in on Ja later. I like Ja's talent. I like him long term, but his cards are going to go up and down with everything else. So if he's not relevant come playoff time, then his cards are not going to see much relevancy or as much, which will give you a window to buy in. You know, if you're going to invest in Ja, what I would say is, okay, look at it this way. If you buy, what I got here? If you buy one prism for $900, in order to get double your money, it's going to have to hit $1,800. But if you buy $900 worth of hoops rookie cards, which are like at 120 right now in a PSA 10, say you buy them for 150, which is a high side estimate, you can get 6 of those. Okay, so you could get 6. So you get, yeah, you could get 6 of those for $900. So you can get 6 hoops for the price of one prism. Is the hoops card likely to hit $300 each before the prism hits $1,800? I mean, ask yourself that question. So if the hoops hits $300 before the prism hits $1,800, now you're looking at doubling your money on the hoops instead of the prism. So if you're looking at it as a flip opportunity, come in on that lower end stuff. Lower end cards gain percentage value quicker than high end cards. I'll go back to last year when Giannis prisms were 3,000 and his hoops were 300. It was a 10x difference. So you could buy 10 hoops for the price of one prism. The prism, when it hit 6,000, the hoops was at 1,200. So do the math. You know, you got a 4x multiplier on the hoops and only a 2x multiplier on the prism. So in the long run, by buying more hoops, you would have made double the money that you made off buying one prism. So that's the way to look at it. And you can get higher percentage returns, and you can also buy less to limit your risk. If you only want to buy 3 hoops for $450 and hope to flip them at $900, you're only in $450. Where if you buy and you're doubling your money at $900, if you're paying $900 for a prism Ja to double your money at $1,800 and it doesn't double, you're in at a $900 risk. So if you're looking at it from an investor standpoint, I like the bargain cards like hoops and stuff more so. If you just want one card that might be really liquid and that, well, anything with his name on it's going to be liquid, but that's just an in hold sell, your percentage return is going to be lower. You're going to be at a higher risk, but it might be less work. Guys, I'm missing a lot of comments. I'm sorry. I won't stream like this again because I'll use StreamYard from now on because I cannot highlight a comment. What'd it say? Yeah, I can't highlight a comment to bring it up on the screen so you guys can see what I'm talking about or answering. And they're going by fast. So, Joel, you say you can easily see a Ja Morant Prism at 1,200. So can I. Am I willing to risk $900 for a $1,200 flip? I'm not. That's only a $300 profit on a $900 risk. If I want to make $300 profit, I could buy 2 prisms and hope that they go to $300 each. So I'm in 300. I sell them for 600. I make 300. To me, that makes a lot more sense than buying in something for 900 and selling it for 1,200. Women's golf cards, guys. Man, I want to read. I want to be on these comments. Oh, man, this is bad. This is bad. I don't like the way this stream is. I'm missing so much. Ja Morant 1,800 at Prism prices, market insane. Chronicles for Ja. Yeah, any of that low end stuff, hoops, and I mean, you could go with Mosaic if you want. The Mosaic is a tough grade, so even though it's massively produced, your PSA 10s are tough to come by in Mosaic. They have issues right out of the pack. Even a factory issue, in particular on the Ja Morant card, it tends to have a print line below the ball on most of his cards, kind of like the 2017 Prism of Patrick Mahomes, iconic card already, has like a bubble / dimple near his throwing elbow. It's kind of like that with the Ja Morant's near the ball on the Mosaics. So that in the PSA 10 is not very easy to find. Yeah, the Hawks are awesome. They're going to be exciting. You know, if I had to pick between Trae Young and Ja Morant to spend my money on right now, I'd probably spend it on Trae Young. Even though we saw a bump in him, we saw a bump, then we saw a dip. But I think Atlanta is going to be more exciting. And again, we're basing this off Ja's super hot start of 44 points. That's unsustainable. If he averages 44 points this year, guys, I'll give you all my cards. I'll give you my whole collection. You like the duck in the corner better too? What's the duck in the corner? Is there a duck in the corner? Also, select guys. Hockey, you said in the stock market, where's that at? In the stock market, if you get 7% growth yearly, that's good, man. This ain't the stock market. If I get 7% growth on a card, man, that's going to be rough. I mean, eBay is going to take that from me. eBay is going to take their 10%. There goes my 7% growth. There's supposed to be more wax available. Mosaic as good as 1991 to protect baseball. I'm trying to get some of these comments. What's up, Herbert? How you doing? Okay, so you're my last comment. Do you think PSA will become the next card market with the purchase by Nat and everyone sending their cards to them? Do I think that PSA will become the next card market, as in, I'm not sure of the question. If you want to reword it, maybe I'm just not understanding the way you're asking it. Herbert says, do you think PSA will become the next card market? You mean like, I mean, PSA, when you're talking graded cards, they are the market right now. So I don't know. I don't know. Yes, Ricardo, Silver Jaw got a 60% bump this week. So that's great if you already have bought it. If you bought it 60% ago, that's great. If you didn't, you can't chase that 60% bump. You got to look at how much growth is left in a card and what's going to cause it to grow. There's variable factors. I'm not saying that jaw cards aren't great to have. They're the best cards to have right now from modern day perspective. But are they smart to chase right now? In my opinion, I just wouldn't, but I'm conservative. Oh, Herbert, you mean like the next eBay where people buy and sell? Right now, that's Star Stock. PSA needs to worry about catching up on their card submissions and their backlog before they worry about anything else. Star Stock, I've spent more time on Star Stock in the last 2 weeks than I have eBay. So for me, speaking personally, Star Stock is already cutting into eBay. Now, with that being said, raw card prices on Star Stock are crazy in comparison to eBay. You can almost make money alone by going to eBay, buying lots of raw cards, and just straight sending them to Star Stock and reselling them raw again. Because if they get those Star Stock A's, you're going to get an automatic turnaround without anything, just because people got a peace of mind. So now they're willing to spend, 20 to 30% more than market value, or at least eBay established value. I don't know what market value is anymore now that you have Star Stock and eBay and such. Market value, I mean, there's going to become a market value for a Star Stock A. You're going to have eBay raw, Star Stock A, and you're going to have graded. I can see that being, it's already a thing, whether or not it's noticed by many people, because I don't know how many people use that format, but it's already a thing. Star Stock A is its own separate price. Yes, Ricardo, picking up 9s of base. I've been picking up some 9s of base also, just because I'm looking at the price of Star Stock A's, and you can almost get a PSA 9 for the same price, in some cases less, than a Star Stock A. That's how crazy the Star Stock has become already. And, I don't know if people are buying Star Stock A's thinking that, okay, I'm guaranteed a 10 or I'm guaranteed at least a 9 or whatever. I do know that if I buy a 9, I'm getting a 9. And I would rather buy a 9. For example, Roy Hachimura PSA 9s you could get for like $40, or you could buy like a Star Stock A for like 50. I'm just going to buy the 9. Then by the time you submit it, get it graded, get it back, and your odds of getting a 10 may not be very high. I mean, you might as well just have bought the 9, or you're going to have missed the market flip on that by the time you get it back. Yeah, Ziggy, Prisms. I tell you what, there's one that I have to send in, and this player's gotten hot. Guys, I've released a series. I've only done one episode yet. I don't know if you watched it, but it was called Flip, Grip, or Skip, or Flip, Skip, or Grip, or Grip It, Skip It, Flip. However you want to put it. There's no way to put it, but they all rhyme, and it sounds kind of cool. But anyway, it's a card on a weekly basis that I'm flipping, that I'm skipping out on altogether, or that I'm gripping, which means I'm buying and I'm holding on to it. And I was flipping Colin Sexton's this week. I had already made a few that I showed in that last video, and I've still been flipping Colin Sexton. I have so many that I'm getting ready to put a bunch of them into Star Stock. I don't know if I can find them. They were all $3 raw at a card show, and they all look good. So I'm sending them all to, now this was back in March, and I've just been sitting on them all this time. But Colin Sexton, Star Stock A's now are up around $60. That's just insane for an ungraded raw card of Colin Sexton, $60. Speak of the devil, here's a handful of them. There's 5. I paid $15 for all 5 of these. Now one Star Stock A is 60 plus. I know he's been hot and he's put up a couple good games, but man, it's crazy. I got 2 more floating around. A couple of them are actually in Card Saver 1s already. I'm going to do a video showing my star stock. I haven't been going heavy on star stock as far as high dollar stuff, but I've been buying $5 cards and selling them for 10, or $10 cards and selling them for 20. I started with $300 in, and I'm up to 460. So I made $160 in the past week flipping really small 10 and $5 cards. Trying to pick out a comment here again. I'm regretting using this format because I don't know how to highlight a comment. I know how to make a moderator. I know how to put somebody in timeout, but I don't know how to put your comment up on the screen. Cavs are good so far. Yeah, they're 3-0. It's early, though. And I saw a question about Kevin Porter Jr. earlier. A lot of people have talked about Kevin Porter Jr. I mean, a lot of people have talked about everybody, to be honest. I mean, if you watch YouTube content, I don't think there's a player that hasn't been talked about in some shape or form, whether they've been pumped to the ceiling or just mentioned. Kevin Porter Jr. is one of those that a lot of people have talked about. Now, I don't know if it's wishful thinking because they like him or because they're invested in him. A lot of times when people are invested in somebody, it's wishful thinking, and they're saying, okay, this guy's going to be good. Or they're just not or they're invested in the guy because they honestly believe it. But, you know, who's going to play when Kevin Porter Jr. comes back? Because Darius Garland and Colin Sexton are both playing good. So where does Kevin Porter Jr. fit? I mean, aren't they all 3 playing guard? I mean, where does he fit? And they're winning. You don't want to disrupt. You know, when you're winning, you don't want to make a lot of changes. Card Hour, man, what's going on? Soccer. I love soccer. Card Hour is the first soccer channel that I watched. I still only watch a handful of soccer out there. There's not a whole lot, but Card Hour. What's up, Chuck? Jason, Nats, man. No, I'm not on StreamYard, Nats, man. Like, yeah, I should have just been on StreamYard, and I'm not. So, yeah, the YouTube doesn't, like on StreamYard, I just click the comment, it highlights it and pulls it up. On here, it just, like, I don't even know how, yeah, I guess I got 40 people watching. Yeah, I don't even. No, I'm not drinking beer. This is just tea, pomegranate tea. Got my antioxidants in it, man. All right, I see a question about Markelle Fultz. How do I like Markelle Fultz? He was one of my picks coming into the season. Now, he's the type of player that I don't think you want to hang on to him super long. You want to try to find that peak and sell. I played it safe on Markelle Fultz. I was confident in him. However, I didn't go heavy. I bought optics instead of prisms, and prisms were only $10. So looking back on it now, I should have bought the prisms, but the optics were only $3. So I was like, okay, I can buy this optic lot, which I bought. I think I got 7 optics for $18. So I was like, okay, that's a good lot to buy. If I would have bought 7 prisms, it would cost me $70. So I look at the $70 investment to the $18 investment on a player that I liked, but, you know, wasn't a sure thing, which nobody's a sure thing, but I mean, was far from a sure thing. So I went the safe route with the optics. I still got some money to be made there because his optics gained some value. I did buy one PSA 10 Mosaic. I'm not sure where I put it because I was actually taking photos of it because I was thinking about listing it. Because like I said, when players like that have some hot games, I like to go ahead and sell them. if I can take a $30 card of Markelle Fultz and sell it for $120, then that's money that I can then take and put into Kevin Durant or somebody like that. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to find it. I've just got stuff all over the place because I've been doing a lot of listings, a lot of selling with the basketball card market coming up, picking back up. I didn't do much this week. Last week I sold over $2,500 worth of stuff. This week was only like $500 because I pulled a lot of my listings because I'm having issues with my PayPal account. Now that you got these eBay managed payments or these eBay payments, and it just goes into your eBay account where they're putting all my eBay money into my bank account, which I then want to transfer from my bank account to my PayPal account. But for some reason, for some security reason, PayPal isn't letting me link my bank account. Now, they'll let me buy stuff out of my bank account, believe that, but they won't let me transfer funds out of my bank account. I have $2,500 worth of sales that went from eBay into my bank account that I want in my PayPal account for reinvesting purposes because I don't like to mix my money. And right now it's mixed, and I can't get it transferred into PayPal. Here's a Markelle Fultz I was talking about. This is a Prism Mosaic PSA 10. I picked that up for $30 back when he was dirt cheap, and that's something that I would flip now if I could, for $100, double, triple my money. I'll take that. Let me get back on these. PJ Washington stepping it up. I got some PJ Washington stuff. I just thought there was going to be more hype surrounding him with Lamellar Ball. The hype hasn't really been generated. The team hasn't looked that good besides their win last night. And that was actually Washington's first decent game. I did buy a Terry Rozier Select. It was like a red Select Prism. I bought off Star Stock. It was the only one on there, and I bought it for $9, and I flipped it for $30 after Terry Rozier had that super big night. That was a good Star Stock flip that I had this week. It's not big dollars, but percentage-wise, $9 to $30 I like. Aaron Gordon. I see somebody has some Aaron Gordons. Guys, if I don't see your comment the first time because they're really going by and I have to scroll up and I can't stop them and highlight them, you can ask the same question again. Don't make it feel like it's redundant. It's not like it'll be bugging me out. I just can't. I just don't. If I miss it, it's because I actually missed it legitimately. Thoughts on Lamellar Ball? That's Derek watching Coins Review. I don't have a lot of thoughts on him, really. I don't know. This rookie class is hard to gauge. I mean, the only reason we talk about Lamellar Ball is because of publicity. We don't talk about him because he's done anything. And this whole rookie class is just tough. Look at all the money that's being poured into the 2019-20 class still. Even guys that aren't Ja and Zion. Look at the money going into Kobe White, R.J. Barrett, Tyler Hero. I mean, all these top 10 guys. Roy Hachimura has cooled off because of he's out for 3 weeks. That's a great window right now. I don't want to spoil my next video, but I'll be dropping a skip, flipper, grip probably tomorrow. Roy Hachimura will be in there. And because there was a lot of buzz generated around him coming into the season, he had some good preseason games, and then he got an eye infection. So it's not like he has something wrong with his knee or his leg or something that's going to hamper his ability to play. Because, I mean, you don't need to be able to see to shoot. I mean, Michael Jordan shot foul shots with his eyes closed. But I'm just kidding. But anyway, he's got eye infection. So once that heals up, he'll be back and he'll be physically fine. And, I mean, Russell Westbrook is just dishing out assists left and right. Crazy amounts of assists in his first 2 games. He took a rest last night. But there's going to be a lot of opportunity for Roy Hachimura when he comes back with Russell Westbrook dishing the ball a lot. He's going to have a lot of open looks. And I like him because his price point, his stuff has come back down because he's just not playing. And when somebody's not playing, nobody wants their cards. But the moment that they hear that they're coming back, you know, there was buzz about him coming into the season So why wouldn't there be buzz about him, finally getting his first game in? And right now, this is like a 2-week. I look for like a 2-week window to pick up some Roy stuff because people, as soon as they get word of him, okay, he's back, he's starting tonight, he doesn't even have to play. That buzz will generate again. You'll be able to sell. And if he plays well, even better. It's hard to get in on anybody who's already played because we're like 4 games in, and everybody has hit insane prices. So look for those guys who haven't played yet. And don't overpay for the guys that have a couple good games. Remember in baseball when Giancarlo Stanton came out and hit all those home runs and everybody went deep on his cards? Who am I selling in basketball? Well, last week I was selling some Colin Sexton. I've made lots of money off Colin Sexton. At this point, I can keep what I have because, he is young and the Cavs have won 3 in a row. So I can keep some. I've made all my money back off of him and I've profited well off of him. And I still have about 6 raw prisms and 1 PSA 9 silver. So, this week, who am I flipping? I am flipping, I'm going to give away everybody and you won't watch my next video. Getting your eBay money takes forever. I haven't had, you can set it for a day or a week. I have it where eBay transfers my money into PayPal weekly. So, I don't need it daily because I have enough funds in my PayPal account to where I don't need it in daily. It's just that it's not going into my PayPal account. It's going into my bank account. And for some odd reason, PayPal won't allow me to link my bank account to PayPal. I've called the bank. The bank said everything's fine. It's nothing on their end. I called PayPal and they said it's on their end. It's a security thing, but they don't know what it is and they don't know how to fix it. I'm going to have to end up going and getting another bank account at a separate bank and linking it to PayPal just so I can get my funds. It's going to be a pain in the butt. Who are we talking about? John Morant leaving the game in a wheelchair. Is that a joke or is that for real? Holly, a troll, give him the boot. Is that? Which one's Holly? Hey, does anybody want to be a moderator? I don't know what privileges that gives you, but I have the ability to give it to somebody. Let's see. Classic Pack Attack. What do I think of rookies, of veterans like Blake Griffin, Tobias Harris, DeMarcus Cousins? Blake Griffin's been around for a while, and he had a lot of buzz coming into the league where he was the rookie to go after. He was exciting. He was dunking on everybody and things like that. But I don't think he has the kind of legacy to really warrant long-term value. And I believe that his quick flip potential is gone, like the buzz. He's Blake Griffin. He is what he is. And, it's too late. I think it's kind of too late to say Blake Griffin's going to have a breakout season because his breakout season was his rookie year, and that was a long time ago. And he was good. It's not like he was a bad rookie. He's a guy that's going to post up and get some dunks, but I don't know much. I wouldn't go heavy on somebody like Blake Griffin. A lot of these guys, Tobias Harris, DeMarcus Cousins, they're all good players. But you have to find something, when you're making an investment, there's lots of good players in the NBA, and not all of those good players are good investments. Look at a guy like Russell Westbrook. He averaged a triple-double for like 3 years in a row. Nobody's done that but Oscar Robertson. And Oscar Robertson is considered to be a top 10 player of all time. And people don't even realize or talk about how Russell Westbrook has done something like that, and he's awesome. You can buy his PSA 9 rookies for like $40 of certain cards. And, I've picked up a couple of those. I would rather go that route than those other three guys, because those guys, Blake Griffin, Tobias Harris, DeMarcus Cousins, none of those guys are going to be the man on their team. They're going to be role players. They're going to be sixth men. They're going to be contributors, but they're not going to be the man. What cards that I bought on Star Stock recently that have high upside? Well, the way I would look at Star Stock is I look at it on a daily basis. Who do I think might have demand for that day? Because that you can buy and flip that quickly. So I look at players who might be playing tonight. Look at their matchups. Like the Nets are playing tonight, and I believe they're resting Kyrie and Durant. So if they're resting their two best players, maybe pick up a player on the Nets who may have a chance to shine tonight, or a player on the other team who may do well because of the lack of defense on the other side, and look at some cheap rookies of those guys. And if they go out and put up 20, 25 points tonight, relist them for double of what you bought them for, and then just hope that they're sold in the morning. That's what I do. I bought Wendell Carter Jr. from the Bulls for like $10 for his prisms. He had a good game last night. I listed him for $22, and when I woke up this morning, they were sold. So that was $20 that I turned into $44 bucks. $10 each, sold for $22 each. And Wendell Carter Jr., a lot of people are talking about, I think he's got potential. He's going to be good. This, that, and the other. But he's a big man. He's on Chicago, and Chicago has Kobe White, Zach LaVine, and Lauri Markkanen, who's going to do a majority of their scoring. Last night, all those guys were over 20 points. So how often is that going to happen? Zach LaVine was over 30 points. They still lost they couldn't stop Steph Curry last night. Let's see. Ziggy says he's big on Keldon Johnson, Garland, and Reddish on Star Stock. Not sure to buy now. Yeah, like Keldon Johnson has been the darling of Star Stock. However, his stuff is expensive now. His prisms are probably $30 or $40 maybe. So how much return are you going to get out of a raw Keldon Johnson prism if you're buying it at that price point at the moment? If you bought them for $8 back before the season started, you're making good money on them. So you got to look at that kind of stuff. How much more room does a card have to grow? Yeah, Keldon Johnson could be great, but how much more room does a raw prism have to grow for Keldon Johnson? Darius Garland was a good one. His were like single digits. You could buy his for like $750. I remember his prism were $750, and now they're like $40 to $50 raw. So you got to get on them before the mob does, before the horde. For the horde. Does anybody play World of Warcraft? If anybody plays World of Warcraft, give me a For the Horde in the chat. If you don't, tell me I'm a nerd. If you play Alliance, get out of my live stream. I'm just kidding. Alliance is good. We can all be friends. Crap, Ja really in a wheelchair? That sucks. Yeah, peeps, I agree. Bought 2 big lots of him off eBay last night. $100 for one and like $85 for the other. It was 8 cards in each lot, 2017 prisms. So I got 16 Lauri Markkanen prisms coming on the way. He put up 20 plus last night. He's 7 foot, can play power forward. You don't have to pay him at the center. He can shoot threes. He's like a baby Porzingis, if that's a good thing, or a baby Jokic, maybe not from a passing standpoint. And he's finished, got the international European appeal to him. He's going to have a whole nother marketing. He's marketable. But I like him, especially, and then you can buy those. You see his Prisms Star Stock A's are like $44, and you can buy 8 Prisms in a lot for $80 off eBay. It's $10 a card. Do the math. Buy a lot on eBay for $10 a card. Send them to get a Star Stock A and sell 1 Star Stock A for 40 plus. Stimulus funds will be available in the next 2 weeks. Wonder if card values will increase due to this. That's a good question. The thing is the market is hot right now. This is not due to the stimulus. I know a lot of people credited the market being so hot last year, including myself, of a perfect storm of things, and we said that it would never happen again. Zion was in the draft. Sports weren't on TV. People needed their sports fix. Gamblers needed something to buy. The sneaker flippers were in. Stimulus was out. It was everything. And we were like, man, this won't happen again. This won't happen again. And boom, we're not even a week into the season, and it's happening again. Without all of that stuff, with a bad draft class, with no stimulus. I'm not going to say a bad draft class, but with a very unknown. You don't have a Zion or a Ja driving this draft market. You have them driving the NBA market, actually. And sports are on TV. People are gambling. Believe me, I know that. I work in a casino. So, and people are still buying cards. Nets, Karis LeVert, maybe for tonight. But you be seeing Kyrie is taking a lot of shots. He's scoring a lot of points. So is Durant. People ask a lot of questions about Landry Shamet to me coming in, and I just don't think there's going to be much of a role for him on that team. Last night, he might have been 1 for 9 from the field at one time. Lonnie Walker, been telling everyone, yes, that's who I bought. Keldon Johnson got driven up so quickly that I bought 2018 Prisms of Lonnie Walker. I did sell them on Star Stock because I bought them. I don't know if they were $8 or $10, but I was able to sell them for $24. So the way I'm using Star Stock is I'm not really holding anything long term, and I'm not looking for big dollars. I'm looking to double up and sell. If I buy something for $5, I sell it for 10. If I buy something for $3, I sell it at 6. If I buy it for 15 and I don't buy much more for more than the price of 15, I'm going to have to because of the prices, but I sell it for 30. I'm not being greedy on Star Stock. I'm in, I'm out, and I'm just riding the wave of hype. So far, I profited $160. I'm getting close enough to where I can buy a bigger card of an established player that has a safe floor. Just off flipping the stuff. I didn't jinx Ja, classic pack attack. I didn't. Maybe somebody else did. Ziggy, give me a for the Horde. For the Horde. Get rid of the trolls with the Ja injury talk. Somebody's telling me it's for real. Look, I'll look it up. Let me check. Right here. If I got trolls, and this is the first time I've had trolls in the chat, my crowd's usually pretty good. Still looking it up. Can anybody verify John Morant stuff? I'm on NBA.com. It looks to me like he's playing. So Joel says he hurt his ankle. So I could try. I trust Joel. Not that I don't trust anybody else, but I know Joel. And Joel is telling me that Ja hurt his ankle. It just may not be in the news yet. He's only played 12 minutes. He's 2 for 7 from the field. Dylan Brooks got 11 points. That's a guy on Star Stock that I bought some of, Dylan Brooks. Because with Jaren Jackson Jr. out, I think that Dylan Brooks is the second best player on Memphis or on the Grizzlies. Yeah. So he's got 11 points. He might get some points if Ja is out. I would rather for Ja to be in and me not make money off of Dylan Brooks because Ja got hurt. I never would wish injury on anybody. That's not good. I don't want my success to come from somebody else's misfortunes. So hopefully Dylan Brooks and Ja can play together and do well. Timothy, I don't know this guy, but if you want to rush the Star Stock and look up this guy, Timothy Luwawu Cabarro. I can't make that name up. But that's what it says there. You can't see it. He's starting at forward tonight for the Nets, and he's got 19 points already. At halftime, he's got 19 points. You want to head over to Star Stock and see if he's got any cards on there. I can't even spell that name. I'm not even going to try in the middle of a live stream. Okay, let's keep on going. Sawyer M, you sold Josh yesterday. Ja was regardless of an injury or not. Buying Ja right now, even if he was healthy, I just wouldn't recommend it. He's so expensive that all it takes is something like this to happen. So YouTube is saying apparent ankle injury. He rolled his ankle. I mean, an ankle injury in basketball, especially when you play his position and the way that he plays, it's not like a quarterback having an ankle injury. It's a lot different. I got you, Gaming God, LJ. Gaming God, are you? Is that LeBron James? If you're a gaming god, do you play? What do you play? You play NBA 2K? You play Blizzard stuff? What do you play? All right, guys, we got it. Looks like it's been confirmed. It's not fake news. Ja Morant has some sort of injury. We don't know how severe. Unfortunate. Gotcha, Mopar. It's all legit, guys. It's all legit. All right. My opinion on the resale value of Mosaic base cards. C in Comedy. Clarence, what's up, CeeLo? Call of Duty. I'm no good. I can't play those Call of Duty type games because I get in those shooters and then I get shot up by like a 10-year-old and then he starts teabagging me and then I just want to come through the TV and I can't and I end up breaking the TV and hurting myself. And yeah, I don't do that ever. Never have done that. But anyway, resale value of Mosaic. So Mosaic is a hard sell raw because they're so sensitive and everybody knows it. Graded, Mosaic is a good card. It's a nice quality. I don't like the design so much. I think they got good pictures on them, but the backgrounds are horrible. So I still prefer Select. Once I get past Select and I start getting in the bargain stuff, I would rather look at Revolution or Hoops. However, Mosaic is okay. I'll buy a Mosaic at the right price. I'll buy anything at the right price. You know that. Hey, look, my dog can walk. Y'all get a view of this because he doesn't move that much. He hasn't moved in days. He hasn't moved since Christmas. He's walking better than Ja Morant is right now. Man, that's not a funny joke. That's not good. Scott, modern hockey, I don't know a lot about it. I know the guys from the 80s and 90s. That's kind of been what I've been eyeing up from a market standpoint, from investment. I'll never go hard on hockey. I will buy some of the greats. I will buy Lemieux, Messier, maybe Stevie Y, the O-Pee-Chee rookies, just because of there could be a kickback. There could be a kickback from the Gretzky sale, although the buzz around the Gretzky sale might be dying down a little bit. With basketball being so popular right now, there's a lot of things you can buy. I talked about this. My last video was just under the radar stuff, where sometimes you got to grab yourself a couple cards that aren't basketball, because what are you going to sell during the NBA offseason? Are you going to sell your basketball cards during the NBA offseason? Because that's the worst time to sell them. That's when you should be buying them. If you buy all this basketball right now, while all these other markets are cooled down, and then basketball season ends, what are you going to have to sell? You don't want to sell your basketball. It's the worst time to sell it. And you didn't prepare yourself for the offseason because you spent all your money on basketball cards. Now you're stuck with your basketball cards till the next season comes up. So basketball, yes, it's good to buy and it's good to ride the waves of the season, but save yourself some money to get in on some other hobbies and some other products and sleepers and things like that. It sucks when everybody goes to eBay at the same time to sell the same card and there's 15,000 of them in the population. Because this guy undercuts $5, this guy undercuts $5, $5. By the time 50 people undercut $5, you've shaved $250 off the card. Yeah, peeps, Gretzky sale had a massive impact on hockey. I've noticed I bought a PSA 8.5, or was it SGC 8.5 Lemieux rookie for $300 back before that Gretzky sold. And I've noticed that card is like more than doubled in value already. It's like up over 600. And I just kind of was like, man, that Gretzky is at auction right now. It's at 800,000. I'm going to buy a Lemieux. JPOR, what's going on, man? It's an ankle sprain, back in a few weeks, or hopefully back in a few weeks. The last vintage card I bought, Ed. Okay, what's your definition of vintage? Because like eBay's definition of it is like pre-1970. So the Lemieux I bought was an 85. I haven't bought much older than that lately, actually. I don't even think I've bought any soccer stuff. All I buy in soccer right now is vintage, but I haven't bought a lot of soccer vintage. I can't find it. Oh, Mark, that's a pretty good question. I wish I could bring it up. Is there a price point to selling on eBay where you should require signature on delivery, have high-priced cards to sell, and worried I would get scammed? For me, personally, I mean, I guess it depends on what you consider to be a big sale. So I guess it'll be different for anybody. For me, usually when I get over $300 or $400 sale, I'll require a signature on delivery, and I'll pay for that. I don't charge the buyer for that. I'll pay for that for myself, for my own peace of mind. Messier cards are exploding. I've been watching an O-Pee-Chee PSA 8, like 2 of them for weeks on my watch list. They haven't gone off, so maybe they're just priced too high. Because Messier ranks in the top 10, I think, greatest all time, and I got to see him play. I mean, you got Gretzky, you're not going to be able to touch his graded stuff. And then you got like Bobby Orr and Gordie Howe, however you want to look at those. Those guys are, they're vintage. So vintage stuff is expensive because it's vintage. And then you got guys like Bobby Hall, Guy LaFleur. I'm going to forget some because I'm not a big hockey guy. I've done some research, so I know some of the players that are the greats to look for. I see Paul Coffey down there, but I know that he was a defender, right? I don't know how much love defenders get in hockey. I don't know if it's different than the other sports, because I know some great defenders from the past, like Paul Coffey and Ray Bork, and I think Cam Neely and Brian Leach. I'm not going to be able to mention them all, but I know some. It's pronounced Gooey, Goy, like Roy, Gui. Come on, man. Don't get on me about my pronunciation. I told you I wasn't a hockey guy. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. At least I'm talking about it, man. God, nobody else talks about it. I'm just kidding. Outside the box Star Wars living set. I don't know about modern Star Wars. I'm a Star Wars fan. I love Star Wars. I'm wearing a Millennium Falcon t-shirt. I love Star Wars, but I don't have any collectibles outside of some old action figures that I had when I was a kid. And I don't even consider them collectibles because I didn't buy them as collectibles. The cards, I really don't know. I know the old cards have some value, and I only know that because I saw somebody trying to sell them on Pawn Stars. Is that what it's called? But anyway, you never even know when they talk about prices of stuff on there. That stuff's all set up. French name. Oh, gi. Okay, I gotcha. Like what you wear in martial arts. Gi. Did I pronounce LaFleur correctly? Is it like LaFleur, like from Dodgeball? Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. Yeah, Peeps, Yager, number 2 all time in points. But he's definitely not. I still wouldn't say he's a top 10 hockey player of all time. Top 20, yes. Maybe somewhere in the 15 to 20 mark. And unfortunately, he's in the what we call the junk wax era. His O-Pee-Chee Premier rookie card is his best one. I even think in a PSA 10, it's only a $300 card. Maybe a little bit higher. Maybe the market's going up. Sidney Crosby's still playing. Tal, I hope I pronounced your name right. Sidney Crosby's still playing. We're talking about these old guys. Sidney Crosby's still building his legacy. I mean, it's built, but he's still adding to it. I don't know who Lori Laughlin is. My best Marvel comic card, Charles, I don't have any good ones. I have the set that was released in the early 90s. I don't know if it was 90, 94. It was just a set. You could get them out of packs. And then there was also like 5 hollows that you could get for the packs. That's all that I have outside of some cards that actually came with comic books. Like back in the day, you would buy a comic book and it would be in a bag and it would have a card in it, like the old X-Force comic books. When X-Force was released, you guys probably don't have any idea what I'm talking about. But X-Force was like Cable and those boys, Cable and Deadpool and them. They're originally the New Mutants. And then the New Mutants ended and became X-Force. Cable was the leader. Domino and all them was in there. A bunch of your Deadpool movie characters. But I got cards of those that came in the comic books. Actually, the comic books are still in the bags. But they're all mass printed. I don't want to bore you guys with comic book talk. X-Force. Rob Liefeld, yep. He was an artist of New Mutants, and then he went to X-Force. He was one of the best artists of the 90s. You had Todd McFarlane, Rob Liefeld, Jim Lee, who was the artist of X-Men and Uncanny X-Men. Those were some of the better artists back then. You guys didn't know I knew anything about comic books. Yeah. Clarence, I don't have any crazy stories like that. I don't have any dollar thrift store Jordans. Maybe dollar thrift store Jordan shoes, but no rookie cards. Yes, David, I have a first issue. I have a first issue Guardians of the Galaxy, which isn't super valuable, but it's the first issue of Guardians of the Galaxy. It's signed by Stan Lee on the cover. Saw him at a Comic-Con years ago. Now, the first Deadpool or the first Deadpool appearance, because the first Deadpool appearance was like New Mutants 97 or something like that, and that comic book is really expensive. Or is it his first own individual comic book when it was just Deadpool? His first appearance is in a late edition of X or New Mutants. Stay away from the Yoggers and leave them for you. I've had some Yoggers on my watch list, but I just haven't pulled the trigger on any of them. John Cena rookie sold for $2,000. I feel sorry for the person who bought that, because they ain't going to be seeing any kind of returns like that, if you know what I'm saying. I'm just kidding. I'm just not a John Cena fan. My wife and daughter are home. They're about to come in, which means my dogs are about to go buck wild doggy disco up in here. Hopefully they're not too loud. And I have, okay, the big guy might not move that much, but the little yelpy dog, she's going to yelp. She's going to hear somebody outside, and she's going to be like, I got to protect my master. Comic Talk, what's my best book? I don't have many best books. I collected in the mid to late 90s when everything was mass produced. The McFarlane Spider-Man stuff, the Spawn Image stuff, right as the crossover was happening when he left Marvel and started Image. X-Force stuff. Some old New Mutants. I got like some first appearance of Cable New Mutants. I got 2 issues of that. I had and none of my stuff is graded. I have like all 100 issues of the New Mutants. So I have the ones with Deadpool because I collected them from release till ending. Charles says he loves comic cards. People are missing out. I just don't know what I'm looking at when I look at Marvel cards. The old man is up, and he is huffing and puffing. You all right? I had to give the dog CPR up in here. All right, peeps, man. Thanks for stopping by. There's it. It's good, man. I warned you guys. On Star Stock, the difference between base and factory set card, that you're going to be talking about optic there, and that's exactly the difference. Is one is the base, was issued in the packs, and one is the factory set issue where you bought the complete set. They do have a little bit of a different appearance on the border. The factory set isn't just sleek like the base. Vintage WWE cards and getting them graded. That's anytime you can find something that doesn't have a lot of stuff on the market, even if you don't think it's super popular, there'll always be a collector looking for something. That's why I would talk about Kelly Slater Surfer cards. That's why I bought Tony Hawk cards before they went up in value. Some of the wrestling superstars, the rock and roll stuff that you guys see. It's not as liquid, but it will move. And you'll sell it. You get the right set of eyes on it, you'll get a nice return on it. And it's fun. I find that stuff to be fun. A lot of a base card buying and flipping, the best part about it is the money, but it's not necessarily that super fun. Hello from Malaysia, man. I got somebody from Malaysia. What time is it in Malaysia? What's up, Todd? Kids that like comics were swirled after gym class. I was never swirled. I was on the football team and stuff. I like comic book. I didn't tell everybody. It was a secret. Oh, those card on rock Stone Cold cards are nice. I got I don't have any rocks. I got some Stone Colds. I bought one already graded in an 8 for only $20. So long ago. Road Warriors rookie card. The problem with that is that I was looking at Road Warriors. There's multiples. You got Hawk by himself. You got Animal by himself. Then you got him in action. Then you got him together. Then you got him with Paul Ellering, Precious Paul. I mean, how do you want them? Do you want them all together? It's tough when you say, okay, what is the Road Warriors rookie? And they'll all be out of the same set. The same goes for Undertaker Merlin cards. There's quite a few of them, but there's so many different poses and photos. Which one is going to be dictated by the market to be the most valuable? Because in the end, that's what's going to happen. It's going to be the one that most of the people find most appealing, and they drive the market on that certain one. And there might be 4 more in the set that are the same print run, the same year, the same person, but because the market has chosen this one as the rookie or the one to buy, these other ones might never hold as much value. Good Lord. Conrad Thompson. I watch Conrad Thompson. Do you save money with Conrad? He always be trying to get people to save him money and shit. Grilling JR. 60s and 70s superheroes. Mick Foley is your hero. I tell you, the Mick Foley card is in that 93 WCW yearbook, I believe. Everybody buys that 1993 WCW yearbook for the Steve Austin card because it's perforated in the middle, kind of like Sports Illustrated used to be. But there's also a Cactus Jack card in there. And there's also a Dustin Rhodes card before he was ever even Gold Dust. So there's some more potential in that magazine other than just the Stone Cold. I have one out on the table. I would bring it up and show you guys. But you guys have seen it before. If you haven't seen it before, that means you haven't been watching all my videos. Yeah, the best rock is that Miami Hurricanes card. But if you don't have one of those already, then you're going to be coming out of the pocket pretty deep for one. I really don't think my family could be any louder. For the Donruss Optics, I mentioned, the Fanatic set. Well, they call it factory set on Star Stock. Because there's a green border set. I believe the green border might be the Fanatics. I could be wrong. I didn't buy much optic product last year. Who could get their hands on it? Not me. I'm more of a select person. The Zions and Ja card from the 89 Donruss baseball borders. I believe that's like a throwback retro type card. It's from the set, and it just comes in a retro look. I have a couple Patrick Mahomes cards like that also. I believe they did it across all their products last year. Hockey 99. That's a good question. Why don't cards from the Junk Wax era get much hobby love? There aren't too many Chipper Jones rookie card, PSA 10 rookie cards out there, for example. There's a comparison I always like to use. You guys have probably heard me use it before. But when people mention, are we living in a Junk Wax era today? And everybody's like, no, we're not. But everything is mass-produced, but this, that, and the other. When something is mass-produced, the one thing that can give it a slight bit of rarity is a grade. Nowadays, with pop reports, not even a grade can make something rare, especially when cards are coming out of the pack gradable. Definitely in comparison to the Junk Wax era stuff. If you pulled a Barry Bonds 87 tops, or if you try to get an 87 tops Tiffany or an 86 tops traded or something of Barry Bonds, that's a Junk Wax card. But in a high grade, it's valuable because it's hard to get graded high. Stuff is mass produced nowadays, but PSA 10s are also massive, especially on your top players. And this is before cards. We don't know what's sitting at PSA, and I'm sure you guys are tired of hearing this conversation because everybody's beating it into the ground. But the Lucas are so high in population. I talk about Luka, and I always use the comparison of, why are Shaquille O'Neal rookie cards not worth what they should be worth? One of the best players ever. Not only was he great on the court, he was also in multiple movies and television shows. He had his own rap album, even if it wasn't that good. He's a culture icon, pop culture icon, as well as a Hall of Fame basketball player with championships. He's got it all, and he's still in the spotlight because he's on television every night when we're watching basketball. He's on at halftime. Sometimes he's the best part of the show. And his PSA 10s on some of his better rookie cards, like his tops, are like $300. And a Luka Prism is $1,700. And you say, why? And people are like, well, because it's junk wax era. I tell you what, a card that I was buying up because I did some number crunching on it. I was buying this card up, actually. The 1992 Upper Deck Shaq, the black one. The PSA 10 in that card is probably his highest selling rookie card. It's the one that says #1 draft pick on the front. It's black, looks like this. The PSA 10 in that sells for like $3,000. If you look at the pop reports, there's like close to 8,500 of this card submitted. Okay? Submitted. So there's half submitted in comparison to Luka 10s. If there's 15,000 plus Luka 10s and there's only 8,000 of this Shaq even submitted, period, before we get into the grades, there's half submitted. There's 300 and change, like 314 or something PSA 10s. So when you look at 8,000 submitted and you look at 300 PSA 10s, that ratio is so hard. It's so hard to get this card in a 10 that the market makes it a $3,000 card. The 9s are like $250 or even lower. You can get them between $200 and $300. You can get the 9 for less than 10% the value of the 10. Look at the pop report on the 9. Less than 50% return rate on the 9. A majority of these cards are returned as a PSA 8 or lower. Over 50% of these cards submitted. So like 4,600 of the 8,000 submitted have come back an 8 or lower. Which means this isn't an easy grade. So a PSA 9 is $250. That's a little secret. So I'm buying these. SGC 9s, that's even, half the price of the PSA 9, but I'll buy it in a PSA 9 case. Is it going to go? I don't think it'll ever go down. So it's safe. $250 or 200 to 250. I don't think it'll ever go down. So I'll always have the potential to get my money back. However, people see the pop reports on these. They put out a Kobe documentary, anything like that. Nice card to have for really good value. Let me get back to the comments. Steve, what's up? Occasionally I see Zion, etc. 50,000+ Yuka Prisms. Value your opinion. Gary V is going big on UFC and Marvel cards in 2021. Inside info, guys. I don't know. He might be. I mean, I don't have any. Maybe you're my link to Gary V, but I don't. I have nothing against Gary V, but I don't. I'm not a big social media person, so I don't really pay attention to the stuff that he says. He was also buying big on Sam Darnold and De'Aaron Fox, to put it in perspective. I'm not trying to be negative about Gary V. I'm just saying sometimes you hit and sometimes you miss. It's the same for everybody. He's no different than the rest of us, other than he's very influential. But he was buying big on Sam Darnold and De'Aaron Fox. We don't talk about that. We talk about that he was big on Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, and those cards are worth a lot of money. But we don't talk about that he was big on De'Aaron Fox and Sam Darnold, too. And everybody hits and everybody misses. We're all the same. Nobody has a crystal ball. If they have a crystal ball, then they're in the wrong business. Think of all the great UFC fights that have been largely forgotten about. UFC fighters' popularity die the day they are done. That is the one thing about the UFC that's tough, is because, fighters are good for 6 months and then they're bad. I don't really think there is really any GOAT to say in the UFC, because people have their streaks and then people lose and it's on to the next big thing. There is one card in the UFC that I've been buying recently, and I've never bought any MMA cards, but I bought 2009 Topps Dana White. I think it's Dana White's first card. You can buy them raw for like $10. And Dana White's been in the media a lot lately. He took a lot of crap for running the UFC and keeping it and not shutting it down during the whole pandemic. And he took a lot of crap from sports media, all kinds of writers, all kinds of social media people. And he went through and he came out on the other end better. The UFC gained ratings, it gained views, it gained revenue. And, they survived it and they got stronger. And now everybody's looking at him and being like, oh, man, he's such a Renaissance man. He did this and he pulled it off and he made it happen. But everybody was so negative and dogging him at first. And now now that he was successful, everybody wants to praise him. And he's just been in the media a lot. And Dana White is the one constant about the UFC. He's the one constant, because the fighters, they come and they go. So a couple Dana White cards for dirt cheap. Who knows? He's the Vince McMahon of UFC, so could be a good investment, maybe not. Gary Vee was the first to introduce the Rock 1997 Cardinal card in March 2020. Veneer Media signed 20-plus UFC fighters this year. Gary Vee was the first to introduce the 97 Cardinal card. I don't know. I didn't see it. Gene Simmons said he invented this. But I'm sure people were doing this long before Gene Simmons came along. De'Aaron Fox outplayed Booker last night. I don't think either one of them were great. I think McCall Bridges had a good game for Phoenix. UFC round 1 cards are rare. See, I don't know much about UFC, so if you got some info on the UFC, the Joe Rogan, that's probably a cool one. Because Pat McAfee football cards. I actually looked at Pat McAfee stuff, and he's become so popular that his rookie cards in football are sell for a lot of money. Like $15 or something, or $30 for a punter rookie card raw. To me, I'm like, dang, that's a lot of money for a raw punter. So, yeah, I could see Joe Rogan, because he's a social media guy, too. And he was also on more television. Like, wasn't there a show called Fear Factor that he was on? Things like that. Chuck Liddell and Randy Couture are forgotten about. Yeah, I like Chuck Liddell and Randy Couture, because those are the guys, other than going back to the Ken Shamrock, Hoist Gracie days, Dan Severn, a lot of guys when UFC and Pride were going back and forth. And before the UFC even had weight classes, it was just people getting out there fighting. Those guys were like, after that, once it became mainstream, Chuck and Randy were like the foundation of the company. The company was built on their fights. A couple of their fights that they had, those guys, along with marketing and things like that, but they really launched UFC into the mainstream, along with the reality television show, The Ultimate Fighter, and things like that. But I would think that those would be good guys to have, when you look back and when you look at wrestling cards, you look at, I wish I had Hulk Hogan's. I wish I had Ric Flair's. If you think about that along the same lines, you could be like, man, I wouldn't mind having a couple of Randy Couture's or some Chuck Liddells, just because they were the foundation. There was other really good fighters back then. There was Anderson Silva, some guys like BJ Penn. George St. Pierre is always great. He might be the GOAT. Matt Hughes was good for a time. But again, a lot of these guys people don't even remember. We have our first bowl sighting of the night. My thoughts on wide receiver running back Lynn Bowden Jr. He's good to have in fantasy because you can play him in running back or wide receiver. If your running back's out, plug Lynn Bowden in there. I was in the championship in my fantasy league this year against my brother. The first time, I think, in the past 10 years that me and my brother made the Super Bowl against each other. And I got my butt kicked. He started Myles Gaskin against me. Who starts Myles Gaskin in the fantasy Super Bowl? I don't know. Gary Vee must have told him to do that because he started Myles Gaskin against me in a fantasy Super Bowl with everything on the line, and Myles Gaskin scored close to 40 points. He outscored my two running backs, Dalvin Cook and Kenyon Drake combined. So that goes to show you how my game went. And I'm sitting here, I didn't even know he had Myles Gaskin in his lineup. Sitting here rooting for the Dolphins because I'm a Dolphins fan, and Myles Gaskin's running all over the place for touchdowns. And I'm like, yeah. And then I look at the fantasy score, and I'm like, what? No, not Myles Gaskin. Yeah, Caesar, Gary Vee has cards. He shows them off quite a bit, too. And then everybody goes and buys them. Bowl hype was everything that is wrong about sports cards investing and taught all of us a huge lesson. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's what's wrong. I mean, it's wrong if you look at, stuff is overvalued and overpriced because it is. There's no way certain players should be selling for the prices that they're selling at, but it keeps the market hot. It keeps it interesting, keeps it exciting. Everything's not just buy and hold for 10 years. And there's opportunity. I mean, if you had bowl cards and you sold them when the hype was up, then you're glad. If you bought, then you're mad. If you never were in on him, then you really don't care. So, it's a necessary. I don't know if it's a necessary evil, but I mean, yeah, it sucks that everything in the hobby is overpriced and driven up for reasons that it don't deserve to be driven up for. But it also helps the market stay strong as well. Bowl, Greg Jeffries. Remember when Greg Jeffries came in the Mets for the World Series back in like '89? Then everybody wanted like his '88 Don Russ because the '88 Don Russ was a short print. Can you imagine that? A short print in the junk wax, in the heights of the junk wax era, a short print. There was only 10 million produced, not 20. The thing about Bowl is he's just not going to get the playing time. If he becomes affordable again, maybe you could buy some and hold him till he plays. But there is no way you were cracking the case on Jordan, man. You're not going to get me to fall for that. Let me see. I need picks. So my buddy sent me a picture today. Said he stopped by the Walmart near where we live. Now, I've told you I live. There's a Walmart that's like in a ghost town near where I live because during this time of the year, nobody's here because it's like near the beach. So there's a Walmart and nobody ever goes in. You can go in there and find product. So he sent me a text message today with 6 blasters of Hoops Premium basketball. He's like, oh, I stopped by the Walmart. There were 6 boxes of Hoops blasters in there. So I was like, oh man, let me get a couple. I want to have them for the channel. And he was like, not even trying to hear that. I was like, dude, I'll give you time and a half of what you paid for him. This is a friend. I was like, I'll give you 2x what you paid for him, so I can have 2 for the channel. And he was like, no, I want to bust these. So secretly, I was like, I hope he doesn't get anything good. Does that make me bad if I say, well, I hope he doesn't get anything good? No, I was hoping he would get something good. I'm just kidding. But he just texted me. He said he got a silver Zion. I said I wanted pictures. So he sent me this, which you can't see it on my phone. He got a silver Zion on one of those packs. That should have been mine, but he was too greedy. That's okay. Can't win them all. Hit you up. You got me on the hoops. What's up, Dave? That's okay, man. Everybody's got stuff to do. You don't have to prioritize my live stream and then apologize for being late and breaking my heart and, you know, making me feel like I'll never amount to anything. I'm just kidding again. Sports Card Dave, follow you back on Twitter. Okay, I just started the Twitter. In fact, I've only ever sent one tweet. And I needed an instruction manual to do that. So I see that I get notifications on there all the time. I try to read them. Is Zion a buy? You know, the same thing that was applying to John Morant that we were talking about earlier. I would look at maybe some of his bargain cards like his hoops, Mosaic. If you want to go a higher end card, I would look at Select, but I would look at the premier levels. I think they're highly undervalued. People just don't realize the rarity of those. Some people do, but some don't. But I wouldn't go chasing down his prisms and or even his optics. Select is passing optic on the market. It's clear as day. Some people still want to say no, it's not because they love the rated rookie, and I think the rated rookie looks cool. It's classic. But Select is officially past optic in the market when it comes to your like top 8 key players in the NBA for sales value. Luka, Tatum, Trey, Ja, Zion. Look them all up. Look up the comps on the Select. Look at the comps on the optics. Select is pulled ahead. Mark, I'm not in Vegas. If I have you on Instagram or such, I will tell you what casino I work at. In message. Do I think Mosaic will pass optic? I don't think so. Mosaic, you guys are going to say I'm 100% wrong here, but it wouldn't surprise me if Mosaic only lasted a couple years and then was taken out of Panini's rotation and replaced with something else. Now, they'll never remove a product and not replace it, but they only get so many licenses from the NBA. They can only issue so many products a year. So you see products come and go, and you see your mainstays. But if a product isn't super hot, people don't like it, they'll replace it with something else. Mosaic, I think, has more of a lukewarm response. People either love it or they hate it. There's no, like, in between. So, and it's so massively produced. And there were so many condition issues with it this year. Now that goes that goes across the board for Panini products, other than Select, because it's hobby only, so it gets better quality control. But all that massively printed stuff that was retail and hobby, optic was very badly off-centered this year. Prism was very badly off-centered and had surface issues. Mosaic had really bad surface issues with basketball and football. You could pull a brand new card out of a pack and you could have a 2-inch scratch down the surface of it, just out of the pack. I pulled 2 Justin Herberts out of Mosaic. One of them was the NFL debut. it had a scratch down the left-hand side from the top to like the middle, about a 2.5-inch scratch. Now the base rookie that wasn't the NFL debut one was actually nice, so I was lucky on that one. But I don't think Mosaic, because the fact that we're still asking about it is letting me know that it wasn't received as well as maybe it should have been. Because everybody knows we love Prism, Optic, and Select. I mean, pick your favorite, but those are the three that everybody likes, but everybody has their preference. But then you get to Mosaic, and we're still asking questions about Mosaic because the reception of it just wasn't very well. If you have to ask a question, then it might not have been a very positive product. Let's talk a little football. What am I buying and selling? Okay, Dave. Wait, let's see. Who was the football question? Ed. So with the NFL, if you haven't sold most of your players by week 6, you're probably stuck with them unless they're going to the playoffs. That's usually my general rule of thumb. I sell my football stars or players right between the last week of preseason, which we didn't have last week, and week 6. Because after week 6, we kind of know what we have as far as how a player is performing or a team is performing. There are exceptions to the rule. Sometimes teams get hot late and can scrape into the playoffs. We don't know what's happening in the NFC East. So, who would have thought Carson Wentz would have been benched this year? So, Dak Prescott went down. But it's like, where was I going with this? But yeah, you want to be out of a lot of your football stars. Only the guys that you think have deep playoff run potential are the guys you still want to be hanging on to. And even soon with those guys, you're going to want to get out of them unless you think they're long-term. So Patrick Mahomes, you can sell him into the playoffs or if they get knocked out or whatever, it's not really going to hurt you. You can hang on to him because he's got a bright future ahead of him. But just look at Lamar Jackson and what happened with his cards. Coming off an MVP season, he's looked good for the past 2 or 3 weeks. But the Ravens have looked like a shell of themselves. They're trying to back into the playoffs after being the best team in the NFL, supposedly going into the playoffs last year. The Browns, you got Baker Mayfield. I would probably move if you can, if you're making profit. Now, don't move if you're taking losses, but if you're making profit on Baker Mayfield, go ahead and move on him because people still don't have faith in them, and the people that do have that little bit of faith in them in the Browns are going to buy. But, Ryan Tannehill, some of his rare stuff is looking pretty good. But even guys like Kyler Murray have come down. He was super hot. He's come down. If you didn't sell him by week 6, like I was talking about, you missed an opportunity to sell. So it's everybody's opinion. Everybody's got their opinion on which teams are going to be good in the playoffs and stuff like that. You can sell, buy, or hold Aaron Rodgers. You could sell, buy, or hold Drew Brees because these guys have legacies already set in stone. MVPs, Super Bowl championships, things like that are never going to be devalued. Even Ben Roethlisberger, you could buy, sell, or hold. You could buy now because these guys could push into the Super Bowl, and then you could sell. You could sell now because they're all on really good teams and they're really hot, or you could hold because they're going to retire and go to the Hall of Fame. So it's all in you, what you paid for a card, what your profit margins are going to be, and that's always the thing. It's always circumstantial. There's no 100% positive when to sell a card because everybody's in at a different price point, and everybody's got a different situation that they're living in. What happened to John Morant card prices? They'll probably hold. They'll probably stay steady. I don't think people are going to be like, oh, sell Ja now. Why would they? Right now, people aren't going to be looking to dump because it would be dumb to dump right now. If everybody was to flood eBay with Ja Morant cards right now, they would go down in price because of seller competition. So very few people are probably going to list, which means the listings that do hit eBay is still going to be a low supply, and there's still a demand. He's hurt, but there's still a demand. Is this career ending? Is this season ending? No, he's probably out temporarily a week or two. And then I just look for his cards to hold steady. They may not go up. They may not go up. They may not dip. Just probably hold steady, and in my opinion, because people aren't going to be selling. And the fact that people aren't going to be selling is going to keep the market supply low, which in turn is going to keep the card prices high. Only if everybody panics and decides to dump, but I don't see this as a panic situation. That makes sense? I don't know. It makes sense to me, but sometimes I don't know if the way I describe things makes sense. Panini stickers, the NBA market. I like stickers because I like soccer vintage. So it's tough because, here in the States, we're just not much about the stickers. You look at the stickers from last year, I got a bunch of unopened sticker packs. Like these stickers. I mean, you got older like Luka Euro stickers and all, but I got a bunch of these 2019-20 sticker packs that never opened. And just, they really didn't hold a whole lot of value. I got a chat coming in here. I don't know if this is going to pull up or not. Okay, let's see. Do I pin it? What do I do with it? Mr. Rude, thanks, man. I got my first super chat ever. That's what that's called. I have about 70 John Morant draft Prism silvers and colors and just regular base. Are they worth as much as regular Prism? Well, it depends. I mean, the Prism product is always your number one best mover, and it's the most desirable, most collectible, whatever, even when it's mass-produced, mass-graded. The thing about the draft picks that's tough is the fact that they're in their college uniforms. Makes them a little less desirable. Now, if they're in good colors, like you said, you have multiple colors and silvers and things like that, they'll always draw a premium because they're not base. You're more so going to target collectors with those, people who like John Morant, people who like the Grizzlies, people who like did he go to Murray State? I can't remember what college he went to. I don't follow a lot of college basketball, but those people are going to buy up a lot of that college stuff and those multiple colors and things like that. Your flippers investors are not. They're going to tend to steer clear, so the market there is going to be lower. Something like cards like that, if you were to sell them, I wouldn't put them at auction. I would put them at a buy it now so that you could get the price that you want for them. So I would just put them at a buy it now and let them bake however long it took them to sell if you were selling. Because if you put them at auction, the right eyes might not see them, and you might not end up getting what you want for them. So if you're looking to move those, that's how I would move them. But I wouldn't expect Prism base prices just because Prism base is king, and they're in their NBA uniforms. The biggest downfall, even though they're a nice-looking card about the draft Prisms, is the fact that they're in their college uniforms. Right, moving on. Thanks for the super chat. It's like my first super chat. I didn't even know what that was. That popped up, and I was like, what's that? Did that show up on everybody's screen or just mine? Tiger Woods 2001 PSA 10, number one, still feels undervalued at 300. Those Tiger Woods Upper Deck 2001s were once over 500, so at 300, it probably is a good buy. There is a lot in the pop, but there's a lot of Tiger Woods fans, and I believe he has a documentary in the works. Have I ever considered sending to GMA? Where did that go? I saw somebody's question. Have I ever considered sending to GMA for grading in order for faster turnaround times to be able to take profit from that and put into more cards? It depends on the card. If I want to get an insert graded, or in my last video, I've shown you guys some Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar cool-looking cards that I paid like, anywhere between $5 and $10 for. Maybe getting a slab on one of those from GMA would be okay because it's a low price card that I bought for like $5. with a GMA grading fee and getting a good grade on it, somebody would just buy it for the sake of having it at any slab, regardless of what the slab is. But as far as sending my high-end stuff, I would steer clear of GMA, because if you get a 10, you're still not going to get that much value. And if you get a 9, you get out the pliers. Get out the pliers and the bolt cutters, because you don't want it in a 9. And that's not a knock on the company. That's just the way that the market is right now. I'm not saying that their criteria or their integrity when it comes to grading isn't any good. But what the market dictates right now is that GMA is not very reputable. That's dictated by the market. That's not my personal opinion. And I don't have any personal experience with them, so that's all I can leave it at. I'm thinking about experimenting just to see. I do know their definition of a PSA 10 is more strict. I mean, PSA 10. See, their definition of a Gem Mint 10 is actually more strict than PSA 10's definition. But are people actually grading their cards by their own definition is the question, because everything is third person. You know, everything is sort of left up to somebody's opinion. So GMA says a card needs to be 50-50 centering in order to qualify to be a Gem Mint 10. It needs to be 50-50 on the front, where PSA will give you 60-40. So, and that's by definition. That's not just me saying, hey, this is the way that they grade. I've noticed by sending my cards in. No, that's their definition on their websites. If you look up their definitions of how they grade a 10. So GMA's criteria seems a little more strict. However, PSA is the reputation. It's where the money's at. Arnold Palmer's rookie card is a 91 Pro set. No, that's super duper mass produced stuff. I'm sure Arnold Palmer has older prints of different obsolete products. It may not be a card printing company. You know, it might be something off the wall, but he's going to have older prints and older cards that probably are more highly collectible. Gardner Minshew cards on eBay. I can't give away. Yeah, Gardner Minshew. It's been a bit of a letdown. You could probably buy Gardner Minshew cheap and sit on them. Joel, you're holding Josh Allen. I don't know what I would do. If I had Josh Allen, I would probably sell. I don't have any because I've already sold. Now, I sold a little prematurely, but I still made money, so I don't look back on it with regret. But, I mean, what else can Josh Allen do to make his card prices go up? They've actually have come down from their peak and it's kind of stabled out. His Prisms were once up over $650, and now they're back down around $500, I think. So they've come down and stabled out. If he wins a Super Bowl, they might go up. But Mahomes won a Super Bowl last year, and his cards didn't go up until a month or two after that. Will he win MVP? I don't know. It's more Aaron Rodgers than Patrick Mahomes MVP to lose right now. Josh Allen has played good enough to win it, but he's just not getting the recognition. You need that recognition to drive your value. And unless he's a long-term hold for you, which he could be. I mean, he could be a good long-term investment. But if you like him long-term, that means you can buy him in the off-season. If you like him as I want to make some money right now, I would look at him. I would probably sell. Because if he's $500 or $600 right now, and they get eliminated from the playoffs, you could probably get him for $350 in the off-season while everybody's buying basketball cards. And then you can resell them coming into week 1 of the NFL season again, probably for $500. You got to use these windows of opportunity to your advantage and don't get hung up on what's popular at the moment. I know that's what's fun and all that stuff, but see, super chat is green on my screen. So you saw the super chat pop up there. Oh, it's green on your live stream, like when you're reading everybody's comments. I get what you're saying. But I want to try to figure out how to pull a comment up on the screen like I do when I pull it up like in front of me, and you guys, everybody can read the comment that I'm responding to. A good time to buy Prism football rookies, Scott. You know, when the hype has died down, that applies across the board to anything. So players who are not doing good right now, I mean, go look at the price of Dwayne Haskins prisms. If they're $3, buy a couple. Because he doesn't have to play for them to increase in value. All he has to do is get a job somewhere. Like, there's a couple football players that I think are good investments, not because I think that they're great players and they're going to be bounce back players next year, but Dak Prescott is down right now. He's a good buy. He's a good player. We know he's a good player. He's in a big market. Carson Wentz might be out of a job come next season. He has a big contract. Might be hard for the Eagles to move him, but I believe they may be ready to move on from him and go with Jalen Hurts. Carson Wentz is a good quarterback. We've seen it. So we know that the potential is there. So it's not like he's never showed us anything. So you could buy Carson Wentz in the offseason and stash him. And say, for instance, the Eagles decide to move him and he lands in New England. Now all you got to do is sell. You don't even have to wait for him to play. You know, if they make an announcement in the offseason that Carson Wentz is headed to New England, or even if rumors come out, it doesn't even have to actually happen. You're looking at a 3X before he steps on the field. And that goes for any like bigger market team that he would be rumored of going to. Just any change of scenery that draws any kind of hyper attention to somebody can get them to make you a profit before they even perform. They don't necessarily need performance. Going to college is a business transaction. Do I have a process for cleaning or for smoothing out those rough edges on cardboard fray? Okay, so I don't clean cardboard cards unless it's wax and it can be wiped off. I mean, just can be peeled off. Cardboard cards, you never want to really like wipe down the surface of them because you will tatter the surface of a cardboard card. And when you're talking cardboard, for the most part, you're talking vintage. Even if you're talking new stuff that's cardboard based, like a hoops or something, they still do normally have some kind of finish on them. But if you're talking older cardboard, there's really not much you can do with the surface other than wipe off anything that might be a foreign substance. But I would never use a substance on them. PSA actually will return your cards if they think that you've cleaned them with some sort of solvent or something like that, or buffed out scratches with something. They'll disqualify your cards and they will charge you. Now you can wipe down your chromium-based cards with like a microfiber cloth. That's what I do. Just get those fingerprints off there because PSA is not going to do that. If you think you're going to send a card to PSA and they're going to look at it and be like, oh, there's nothing wrong with that surface. That's just a fingerprint. Let me clean that off for you. You are mistaken. So make sure you got a nice fiber. Here's what I use. It all comes together. This is my my tool when I evaluate my cards. So it comes in a microfiber bag, a little zip tie bag, so I can carry it with me to card shows. It's handheld. It also comes with a small microfiber cloth that's just like the bag, but the bag can be used to wipe down the same thing the cloth uses. I put the cloth down on my table out in the other room, and then it's got the light. Well, it's not lit up, but it's a magnifier. Look at my face, my eyeball. That's gross, but you can turn it on. See, it's got like, let me see. Shut this off. What am I doing here? So if I shut the light off, come on, turn on. Oh, here we go. What the heck? It just lit up. Oh, the batteries weren't in right. Struggling. Directions, please. But anyway, you can see it turns on. It's got LED lights around the outside. It's a magnifier. Turn the light on. Look at your cards. Get a nice look at your cards. Magnified. It's handheld. You can take it to the card show. Pull it out of your pocket. Be like, let me look at this before I buy it. Got the little baggie. Wipe your cards down with. Guys, I'm not popular enough to be sponsored, so it's not an advertisement. This is just what I really use. You'll only get the battery cover to go back on. One of my first few videos that I did back in the day was on how to evaluate your cards for grading. You can go back and watch that video. And it's just me actually prepping one of my own submissions. So you'll see this magnifier, how I use it, how I wipe my cards down, card savers, everything I use, things like that. If not, you don't have to with the old video, but that's the tool that I use. There might be some better ones out there, but I think that was like 20 bucks. It's pretty handy. Okay, I've hit that one. I hit that one. Charles, people need to stop buying any new overpriced cards. Buy old school vets. Charles, don't tell people to do that, man. I'm trying to sell some of these overpriced cards. You can tell all of our viewers in here to not do that. Manscaped. Yeah, card collector. What's going on, man? Yeah, we saw Ja got injured. We thought it was a hoax. We thought it was a joke. And then it was real. And then people said people were trolling, but people weren't trolling. And it was just, you know, we got to the end of it, though, as a team. Do you like die cut cards? Do you tend to like non-standards? Do I like die cut cards? Yeah, I mean, I like stuff that looks aesthetically appealing. You know, you have your base cards. Let's be honest. Like I've said before, base cards are boring. I can only look at I don't know. I don't even got many out here. Like this stuff. RJ Barrett. That's boring. Kobe White base is boring. Roy Hachimura bases, they're boring. But they're liquid. They're liquid. You can buy and sell them easily. But there's die cuts and stuff. You buy them. You get them graded. That serial numbered stuff. You get it on the market with very little seller competition. You put your price on it. You wait for the right buyer to come along and buy it. Now, it's not liquid, but it's fun. The cards are cool. They're usually a cheap investment, and you can get money off of them. You always want to have something in your back pocket that you can sell when everybody's dumping the same cards. That's when you don't want to be dumping them. That's when you don't want to be selling, is when everybody is selling the same thing that you're selling. The Manscaped sponsorship. So what's that? Is there like a video? I have YouTube Premium, so I don't even know what kind of commercials they put on YouTube. Scott, yeah. So Scott says young people collecting now at the shows. I think the hobby uptick is here to stay. 2 years ago, it's only adults at the show. But I guess it depends on, again, your definition of young. Do you mean 10 and 12-year-olds? Do you mean 21-year-olds? I'm pretty old, so young to me can be 25. If you're talking a 10 and a 12-year-old, they're not really going to have a whole lot of income other than their parents as to what they can buy. And they may only be in it because of the nostalgia of someone like their father. And when the nostalgia is gone, is the son going to stick around or even have the monetary capabilities of purchasing a nice card? And everything comes and it goes. Everything comes and goes. I mean, bell bottoms. Bell bottoms were in and bell bottoms were out. They may have came back in again. I really don't know because I'm not that hip. But everything comes and it goes. And this will happen again. Sports cards will go again. Just the question is when. Hopefully it stays around longer than later. I wish I would be wrong in this, but it's just the cycle. It's just the way things work in everything. So hopefully it's around for a long time now because it's fun. It'll always be fun, but I think social media is going to help it because all the people there's tons of good content creators out there to keep people entertained. It's not just, hey, I want to watch a video to see cards or to get advice or something like that. A lot of people like to watch just because they would rather watch a YouTube content creator than turn on a television show because TV is garbage these days. So like with me, and there's a question, and you guys can answer honestly. You don't have to answer, but I would like to know. I got a legitimate question I want to ask you guys. And I don't want you to be like both. Both is the easy answer. Which way do you tend to lean, even if it's 60-40, 7-30, 70-30? But when you watch YouTube content creators that talk about investing, are you watching them to get their advice to help you make a decision? Or are you watching them because you've already made the decision and you want somebody to give you reassurance? Does that question make sense? So are you watching investment advice videos to help you make your decision before it's made up? Or are you watching them after you've already made up your mind, but you want reassurance on your decision? I would like to know everybody's feedback on that question. It's just something that I've always thought about. And I know you could say both. I know you could say, well, I do watch to get some advice, but I also do some of my own thinking, and I watch to see what people think about my investments because it makes me feel good. But give me what you tend to totally lean against. Or it could be strictly entertainment. Maybe you watch for entertainment. That's a good answer too. Because this just sort of like happened with me. I never thought I would ever be doing YouTube. I was in a Facebook group and I wrote some articles about cards and marketing and stuff like that. And people liked them. I just was doing it voluntarily. I got in a disagreement with a moderator from the Facebook group and they give me the old heave ho, get out, you're out the band. They kicked me out of the band. And I was just on my own, going solo. And a lot of people from that Facebook page reached out to me and asked me to start my own Facebook page. So I started a Facebook page, and then they told me to do YouTube. And I was like, I would never do YouTube because I can never get in front of a camera and talk. So, but here I am talking for going on 2 hours. But anyway, that's how it all started. I was kicked. I was like, that's cool. I fly low and do my own thing anyway. It was fun. But I didn't realize how many people actually were interested in what I was writing. It was surprising. It's crazy. E-Man actually in the chat here is one of those guys. So it goes all the way back to that day. Probably remembers when I was kicked from that other Facebook group. Reassurance, just entertainment. For me, it's to help make decisions. I'm always wanting to make the best decision myself and to hear perspectives. content just to gauge what the market is talking about. A lot of the what you would say popular content creators always tend to do the same thing. 70s fashion is back. Usually follow my own gut, but want to know what others think too. Made my mind up. Look at me now. I know what I wanted to sit on long-term ready. Yeah. So it was pretty much a mixed response from everybody. You know, some people do a little bit of both. That's cool. There was no right or wrong answer there. And there was no really any answer that I was looking for. It's not like that was a question to help me determine what kind of content I want to do, because I know what content I want to do. I just want to do what I've always done and do like a short weekly NBA video, just because people are so hungry for NBA stuff that, you know, I can do 5 or 6, 7 minutes of a quick NBA, no setup type video weekly, along with my normal video, which this week was the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Magic stuff. I got another one of those coming up. Got some stuff in the mail. I want to do a live stream a week. So I'm looking at 3 things a week. The normal videos, the different stuff, or my mail days and things like that. Maybe start throwing a couple of intros back in there. The Flip, Grip, or Skip series, which I don't know how long that'll last. We'll see if people like it. I don't know if you guys watched that one. Whether you agree with my picks or not, or not my picks, but what I was selling, what I was staying away from, and what I was holding. Did you guys like that episode? Is that something that was okay? And I'm not asking if you agreed or disagreed with my picks, just the content itself. And the live streams are the most fun. This is the best. $70-30 on advice for new rookies I don't know much about. Like smaller content creators like you, because you don't push third-party services at all. If someone does, often quickness. Yeah. I just look. When I started doing this, like, there was no social media. There was no tools to help you make your decisions and show you what the market was doing. It was all instinct. It was all of watching the games, getting up the next morning and looking in the newspaper to look at the box scores. And hopefully the game didn't end too late, or you'd have to wait for the next day to see the box scores. So it was staying on top of that stuff. As a kid, I remember in 1992 when Shaq was a rookie in that rookie class, and I was buying up all those types of guys. I think it was guys like Tom Gugliotta and Harold Miner and Don McClain and Anthony Peeler. I mean, how many of those guys from that draft, I mean, Alonzo Mourning, Christian Laettner, how many of those guys from that draft, other than Alonzo and Shaq, ever really became superstars? And I would get up every morning and check the state newspaper to look at the box scores and be like, oh, Tom Gugliotta on the Bullets had 15 points last night. I'm going to get a rookie card of his. You know, just putting in the work, you know, as a kid. And that's what I still do. It's just fun. What's up, Max? Cardboard Max with one of my friends. He's from upstate New York. He's from Rome, New York, and he is a Buffalo Bills fan. And we play the Bills next week, Miami. Tyler Hero is the new Gugliotta. Come on, man, don't do that to me, E-Man. I think Tyler Hero has a little more going for him. I remember Doug Christie. Latrell Sprewell. Yeah, for all that, I said this before, but for all that Latrell Sprewell did and all the good years that he had and all-star teams and things like that, the most thing he's remembered for is choking up his coach. He gave him the old big show. Could have at least been like Kane and put the glove on first. just can't get into Hero. I don't know. The thing about Hero is that he's going to be a love or hate guy. You're going to, I mean, he just, but he's going to always have attention, man. And that's what you want when you're trying to sell, when you're trying to move players. He's got a little bit of flash, marketability, talent. You know, if he starts putting up some big games. Yeah, a lot of guys, you know, the out of the box stuff and the sneaky picks and stuff like that. When I buy that stuff, I like that stuff. It's fun. They're fun cards to me. So I buy that stuff because if I can't move it, I don't mind having it. When I buy stuff like Tyler Hero and Kobe White and stuff like that, I'm looking at them to sell. You know, I'm not looking at those because I actually have a personal liking towards the player as much as I think that they have investment potential. And I won't hold on to them very long. I don't want my shelves and tables getting cluttered up with a bunch of, you know, base Prism rookie cards that I should just be having coming in and going out. Come on, Charles, a 10 times less version than Steve Kerr. He's a starter. Steve Kerr didn't start. Thunder Dan. Did I just get a Thunder Dan? Come on. No Thunder Dans. All kinds of Tyler Hero hate in here. Okay. I'll buy all your guys' Tyler Heroes for half of market value if you want to get rid of them. I'll see how many offers I get on that. You want to go ahead and dump? You want to go ahead and cut ties and sell me your Tyler Heroes? Let me know. Yeah, Bam's the big Miami star. Well, I mean, now you said the biggest Miami star. I don't think that I'm going to disagree with you. Bam's the best player. There's a difference between being the player and being the star. If you ask the general public who Bam was, who Tyler Hero was, more of them can tell you who Tyler Hero is if they don't follow basketball. So Tyler Hero is the bigger star. Bam's the better player. There's a difference. Jimmy Butler's not the star. Come on. Jimmy Butler he's a really good player, but he's definitely not the star. I will buy all your Tua cards at Ryan Leaf prices. Dollar bin. They should trade Bam and Hero for Harden. That would be terrible. My favorite modern soccer player. So modern. Are you meaning like the recent rookie guys and stuff? My favorite soccer player to invest in is probably Robert Lewandowski. Let's see. You know, like 25. You know, like 25 or so. He's not young. He's not early. He's not. But Robert Lewandowski, Harry Kane. I like those two guys. Maybe number one in England in the World Cup. Does it get more popular than that? And so he's got a lot going for him, and he's still young. Robert Lewandowski is just a beast, and nobody ever talks about him because he plays in Bundesliga. But he would be a beast anywhere because they win the Champions League. So you can't say he does it against inferior competition because he kicks ass in the Champions League. So he's got how many? Does Lewandowski got 17 goals already this year? I don't know. I can't keep up with him. He scores goals so fast, I can't keep up with him. Tyler Hero, Court King, level 3. I don't know what kind of card that is. E-Man, you can't compare Dan Marino and Tyler Hero. Okay, it's not fair. Okay, so you say my best soccer pickup under 25. Who am I like under 25? I like Rashford, but that's probably not a surprise. A lot of people like Rashford. Man, I got in on some really good, really good select silvers of Rashford way back when they were like $10. They've been sitting at PSA forever on a 20-day turnaround. They've been sitting in the grading phase for like 3 months on a 20-day turnaround. Can't wait to get those back. I mean, I sent them in when Soccer Market was piping how old he is, but but these guys are good. How old he is, but but these guys are good. These guys aren't any secrets. But people are spending so much money on them, and they're not really spending a lot of money on people like De Bruyne and Rashford is some, but Harry Kane, Raheem Sterling, sneaky. He's not been playing super great this year, but what's up with Chelsea? They're not playing very good. Pulisic's not doing that good. Timo Werner, I haven't seen much out of him. Jamie Vardy scores a lot of goals, but I have no reason why, or I have no idea why he gets no hobby love. It's because of his team. I'm not really sure. I mean, I like Mohamed Salah a lot. I like Salah a ton. One thing that keeps the market down on him is the fact that he's not a European player. He's from Egypt. So unfortunately, being in the Premier League, a lot of times European appeal drives your card values. Kyle Lowry would be a king in Canada. I don't know, man. You guys up there in Canada are spending all your money on hockey cards. You don't have any money left to buy these Kyle Lowrys now. All right, guys, it's getting kind of late. I've been on for 2 hours plus. I could take some more comments. I'll probably definitely set the live stream up on StreamYard next time so I can highlight these comments. Or I'll have to play around with this YouTube streaming and see how to navigate everything. Like I said, I'm not a professional YouTuber. I don't do this to pay my bills or anything. I just do this because it's fun. And the interaction is the best part when we can actually get on here and I can just get to your questions as much as I can. Hopefully I didn't miss or skip anybody. But yeah, so yeah, you can see that I'm a noob because I don't even know how to work a live stream. I still shoot all my videos. All my videos that you guys see on YouTube are shot from my phone. I got a phone and a tripod. I don't have any of that camera in action or anything like that. I need to get some of that stuff. Maybe you'll like it better. But all right, guys, we're there's 20 people left, so the room's about cut in half now. So, but all right, guys, there's 20 people left, so the room's about cut in half now. So, it's the best time to get in on 2020 Prism football rookies. After the season, when the season ends. Right now, there's still a bit of swirling going around football because the playoffs are going on. There still is a little bit of heat on football. But wait for it to end and for baseball to kick in because then people are going to be buying baseball and basketball. For a while, there's going to be more money going to the baseball market and less going into football. That's going to give you that'll be your opportunity on your football cards. Don't get impatient. Impulsive and be like, oh, I need a Justin Herbert. There's not going to be any left because there's going to be plenty. Believe me, Prism or Panini made enough for everybody. So, window of opportunity so you can maximize your profits. Limit your risk, if anything. That way, at least if you get in on a card, you get on it at a good buy and somebody and you like to watch them. Hey, Glenn, what's up? Yeah, Glenn, I'm like 2 hours in. I'm wrapping up, but I can if you got a question or something. Oh, that courtside sold. See, I had that thing on my watch list. Classic Pack Attack. That auction ended. Here I am. Here I am in a live stream. I had that. I had that select silver Kareem Abdul-Jabbar on countdown, and missed it. That's the second time that's happened to me on a live stream. $32. I missed 2 auctions I was watching. Four. I missed 4 auctions I was watching. You want to see what auctions I was watching? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar select courtside. 12-card Prism rookie lot of Cameron Johnson. PSA 10 Premier level RJ Barrett select, and Premier level PSA 10 select Ja Morant. I was watching all those. They all ended talking. I would have bought that Cam Johnson lot. All right, guys. So thanks for coming out for the live stream. I'll probably drop a flip, skip, or grip video tomorrow early. And then, look for my next regular, lengthy video, because those videos my other videos always get long on me. Probably by the end of the week, maybe Friday or Saturday. Maybe I'll set up another live stream for next Monday. Try not to do them too close together. Maybe I'll get on with Chris from Vegas Finds. I've been wanting to do something with him. So thanks for coming out, guys. Sorry about the format tonight. I wish it would have been better. I wish I would have just went with StreamYard. Didn't know how to work this. Hopefully you all had fun, got your questions answered, got some insight. And, yeah, like I always say, man, guys, it's always hard to, end the stream when I still got people in here because I feel like I'm leaving people behind. But, yeah, good luck in your investing, guys. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.